So, do you think that since the art was hanging up in galleries, you say that you're a part of this edginess, is the art that is in galleries, can it still be considered street art? Even if it's matching what is on a wall, is it still street art? Is it still graffiti? Is it still street art?
I don't know, I'll take a crack at it. It goes back to what we were saying earlier, that it kind of loses its spontaneity and its purpose. Really, it's meant for, it's almost like a personal experience, I think, when it's on the street, and it's something that's not made to last. I think in a lot of ways, like you said, you lose like what that's even about. Like, and we're looking at these, these two posters up here, but it's almost like I don't relate to it as much anymore, I guess. And maybe it was, just borrowing what you're saying, but they can hear me.
No, but gotta make sure you get it.
Anyway, but I guess what I'm saying, no. I think once it's actually in a gallery, I think it loses that.
So it's no longer street art, so then what does it become? Just pop?
Just pop art.
Pop culture art?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
fine.
okay.
It's totally cool, but
it's still marketed as
not,
street art.
Yeah, it's still marketed as street art.
it showed like every sucker in Hollywood.
It's like,
we were just talking about this in the restaurant with punk rock, and how people say punk is dead, but it's not dead. Like, there's no way that punk can be dead because it just changes its meaning. I was saying that punk rock starts as something that's underground and people don't appreciate it.
But it's
then
like
when
Hot Topic. It's like
but when people start appreciating what punk rock is, it doesn't become punk anymore. And then the next thing that comes along that's underground and unappreciated becomes punk. And then when that's popular, something else comes along, and that's what punk is. And it doesn't change what punk rock was originally, but punk itself changes its meaning to something that is different for every generation or every genre of music or every genre.
It's just an ideal or theory. It's not an actual type of music.
Yeah, and tying that into the film, like punk rock, as sort of like this underground art, when it comes to the surface, when it's accepted, it loses its meaning.
Right.
So you can look at graffiti, at street art coming into the galleries as maybe it's actually losing its meaning. There's a big part of underground culture that goes along with street art, that goes along with graffiti. You know what I'm saying? You have underground hip-hop, which is a lot of times intensely political. You have underground punk rock, punk rock, what it's supposed to be, is most of the time intensely political. And then you have street art, which by its nature is political, regardless of the context of it, regardless of what it is. It being illegal and them doing it makes it political. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, once it leaves that environment, once it comes to the surface, it's no longer underground, it's at ground level. It's, and it loses kind of what it is. It's like, we're anti-commercial, but we're capitalizing on
the reaction is what you're looking for. Like, the reaction to the art is what makes it so vibrant. It's what makes it so magnetic, is when people see something on a wall that is blatant, like Ron English's work. When you see his work on the street in New York City, you're going to be like, what the hell? Like, it catches you off guard, it's surprising, it sends a direct message, you can't ignore it. These are all things that only can come from something that is just a split second of art. Just boom, there it is, and it's in your face. He's a freaking genius.
He's a genius.
But it's in your face, and you can't ignore it. It might be gone tomorrow, but if you saw it, it's going to affect you, and you're going to tell that story the rest of your life.
Well, he's one of the only traditional artists in the whole group of them. I mean, he's the guy who's sitting there, he's doing oil paintings still.
Yeah.
He's doing billboard-size oil paintings.
What's the difference between that and, like,
he's not using
the sculptures, or like, Grecian reliefs? You know what I mean?
He's brilliant. I mean, they're still doing busts. Like, he does sculpture as well. He is the true amazing traditional artist of the group, and he takes his art and he says, I'm going to take my ground art and I'm pulling it into the underground. He takes high art and he pulls it into the underground, making busts of Abraham Obama is his latest one, where he actually made busts of an Abraham Lincoln / Obama head. He's brilliant, you know what I'm saying? And he's the one who's saying, look, his art right from the get-go, based on his talent, based on his training, and the amount that he studies, his art belongs in galleries immediately, and he brings it into the underground. He pulls it in there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't...
If you don't go to one of his shows, that doesn't mean you're not going to see his art. And he makes it affect people. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, you're going to be affected because he has something important to say to you, you know. And
he's the most underrepresented of the artists in that.
I think so, for sure. I'm sure he didn't want anything to do with it because he's probably a much more accepting artist than anybody else.
That's the thing. I have Ron English's new book, and actually Mr. Brainwash is in his new book. You know, it's like Ron English and Mr. Brainwash, and it shows Mr. Brainwash doing his whole thing.
You know, it's funny, when I didn't realize too, like on the end they showed the Madonna dress.
That was hilarious.
A friend of mine had the CD, and I looked at it, I'm like, this is totally kind of like a rip-off of Shepard Fairey or whatever. I thought the record label had just put some, you know, thing together and slapped it on there, but I didn't know that it was
Mr. Brainwash making
Mr.
millions.
Brainwash. I didn't know who he was yet, but that was kind of interesting. I was like, wait a minute, yeah, so I have seen that.
Yeah.
So, there we
Look
go.
at say, give your grade.
I give the movie...
Take them.
Oh,
I know,
man,
it's
that's
so
so hard.
hard.
How can you do this to
Just
me?
do it.
I give the movie... You know what? I think I'm going to give it a B+. That's what I'm going to give it. And I think I'm being very gracious, but...
There you go.
Yeah, I think B+. It's short of an A because... I mean, you leave a little confused, and you know, at least hopefully it leads to discussions like this. But B+. That's what I'm saying.
I would say B+. B+.
B+ why?
B+ just because, well, exactly what Ian said, but the other thing too was the visuals. I'm not going to say exactly what NPR said. It was pretty rough and grainy. It was a street film, at least some of the footage was. But it also, though, the audio was really good, so it definitely had a professional feel to it. But at the same time, it definitely was very shaky, handheld, like the footage you're about to see here.
Yeah.
Candace?
Sorry, I thought it was a B+ because it was a great documentation of the birth of that whole genre, and also to me the lapses and the misdirection in the film and the way it was edited kind of showed more insight as to the agenda and the feelings of the artist towards this person. You learn more by what they presented falsely to you than if they had been completely honest. So I think that the mistakes in it kind of showed you more about the actual, emotional connection all these people had. But B+, just entertaining and great.
Yay, everybody's copying me.
I'm not. That's terrifyingly clear. Please back away from me.
There you go.
I'm going to give it a C+. Because of all of the things that everyone else said. It was a good movie, it was fun, it was entertaining, we learned a lot of things about the genre and how it started, and we got to appreciate a lot of people's different styles, what?
Oh, I'm shaking so bad.
Oh.
Very awkwardly positioned.
I was under the impression that we were going to be able to know who Banksy was. And he did not have the fucking guts to come out of his shadow and his voice modulator.
Because he's street.
He's not street or legit. Street or legit would be, hi, my name is Banksy. I do all this awesome art, and this is my face. I made this movie, and this is my effing face, fools. Like, come on. Like, what are you going to do about it? Because now I'm this millionaire who has giant art pieces in galleries with live elephants, and nobody stops me. People talk about me because I'm controversial, but nobody stops me. And it's like, if you have all of that power and all of that money and you can do what you want, you can show your face. Come on, Shepard Fairey is more popular than Banksy is, and he shows his face all the time. He gets arrested because he's street. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That's a good point.
So should have showed your face, Banksy. Should have showed your face.
And it's lost a grade.
C+.
That's pretty street. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Review.
All right.